extra services that are usually part of your pickup may be compromised for a while. We will send out official communications on that one, but that is sort of the ripple effect of what will be happening as we continue to manage this crisis. We know that people have been curious, of course, about what's happened with the animals in the SPCA and with the horses. I can tell you from my notes that we've had some 80 horses that were moved by their owners and taken out to an alternate property out on Tower Road, so our horses are well cared for. When I received the component that relates to the fire that we call the West Fire, this is the one, of course, that's created the local state of emergency, which is still in effect and will remain so, but we'll have some status changes in terms of the evacuation requirements. But what we're advised is that the dozers are working on the ground during the nights, and they'll continue to do that as long as it is safe for them to do so. And what they'll be working on, of course, is the construction of a fire break between the tip of the fire and Highway 63. So I know we've had community interest in seeing something like that happen. Trust the experts on the field. They're doing the best that they can with the circumstances they've got, the equipment that's there, and the resources that are coming in. What really has a bigger impact, of course, is what happens with our weather. And wind is predicted to be coming out of the southeast in the morning, and then it will be southwest in the afternoon. So this could exacerbate or, and even in some cases, help our opportunities for putting the conditions into a better stead, but the extreme fire conditions are once again predicted for tomorrow. So I'm going to go right back to where I started, which is the public and their safety being at the forefront of everything that we need to undertake. And we're sending some general messaging out right now. Our public works have updated all the electronic message boards throughout the city to suggest very strongly, and you hear it from me too, no ATVs or OHVs, off-highway vehicles, on the backcountry trails. So this is really important. We've heard reports of people flying drones. It's a really exciting fire if you're not directly involved in it, but as soon as you get in the way, it's becoming a problem. So people, I'm asking for your appreciation of the danger and hazards that exist and to respect any sensible means. So please don't write your backyard fires this week. You can see how dry the conditions are, the effect that it's having. No fireworks, not that we allow those things to happen anyways, and the perpetual complaints that I see from people witnessing others throwing cigarette butts out into the ditches, just as hazardous. So folks, really take personal responsibility for the actions that could exacerbate circumstances here. The last point that I want to get into is the actual status of the evacuations. And I am absolutely delighted to save the best for last in my recommendations here, but the residents of Prairie Creek, which are one of the 2 mandatory evacuation areas, have been, I've been able to advise that the mandatory evacuation has been lifted to the voluntary shelter in place. And so if I can just tell people what this really means, in the Gregoire subdivision, last night after we had the aerial view, we actually took the mandatory part off of the Gregoire area in general. Shelter in place means that you should be just as prepared. So when I talk about the extreme conditions being potential for tomorrow, we want our citizens, it doesn't matter if you're in those areas that are currently affected or anywhere else in the city, emergency preparation week is before us. You should have your bags ready to go in event of an evacuation. The Centennial Park campground, on the other hand, remains in a critical territory, and we are keeping the mandatory evacuation held on that particular location. And the businesses that are along that corridor have also been affected, and that too should continue to remain in place. But for most other than landfill, you should see operations as usual. And of course, the one thing I think is completely unusual about this place is just how much heart, spirit, and compassion people show in times of crisis. And I want to give my thanks yet again on behalf of Regional Council to the folks who have stepped up, who put their names forward to volunteer, who have been businesses offering support in various ways, for the people that are in the receiving center, for the people who are volunteering, bringing food from the food bank, wherever this source of help is coming from. It is incredible to see this community come together. And so thanks to every person who is doing their part to make this crisis a little bit easier. And of course, the experts on the ground, please show them your respect and your appreciation, because they are doing one heck of a job, and I just simply couldn't be more grateful for that. So hats off to everybody who's involved. And again, our media partners have been crucial in getting information to the public, and so thank you for what you do in these circumstances as well. Okay.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Just a couple of updates moving on from what the Mayor said. With respect to the information that's going out on no ATVs, OHVs, we just want to really reiterate the safe today we had a report from one of the bombers that was flying over that there was a Jeep right alongside where the fire was burning. So someone's driven in on a trail, which is, by the way, completely crazy, but it impacts our ability to continue. We can't carry on dumping water when we know there are people down there, because that's dangerous from that height. So we are pleading with people, ATVs, OHVs, whatever means, do not go in on the trails, do not go anywhere near that fire. It's fun to look at maybe, but it's not a place to go in for recreation. And there's plenty of vantage points from a safe distance around the city to do that. I just want to also mention, with respect to the information on moving to a voluntary shelter in place, that information is just been released by the mayor. So, there's been some communications issues where, was it said that was the first time you've heard it first, so those residents have just heard it first for the first time, and they'll be going back to their homes this evening. It's been a great day for us, and I say great with all due respect. We had significant fire. I'm sure everybody saw those plumes this afternoon, and the reality is that fire hasn't got any closer to town, and that fire isn't any closer to the dump, and that is mainly due to the incredible hard work by Alberta Forestry. They are incredible people, and if it wasn't for them, we'd be in a much worse situation. So I take my hat off to them, I applaud them, I thank them for all they do. And on that, we'll let the boss of that group come on and share some words on the technical aspects of the fire today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thanks, Chief Allen. My name is Bernie Schmidt. I'm the forestry manager in Fort McMurray. Just to give you a quick update on the current situation of the fire. The current size of the fire is 1,285 hectares in size. So this morning we reported about 750 hectares. It's very difficult to get a very accurate size of the fire due to the smoke. We were able to get a better look at the fire today, and we've got a more accurate size. Currently we have 128 people ordered for this fire. We have 36 that are working the fire at this particular time. They're working on the east tip of the fire. They've been met up by the two dozer groups, and we're containing that small portion of the fire. It has not moved any closer to Fort McMurray or to the dump, so we have some good news there. Current conditions today was very hot and dry on the fire, approximately 27 degrees with an RH of 22. The inversion lifted at about 11 o'clock. That gave us the opportunity to get our helicopters in there to do some bucketing, and it allowed the air tankers into the fire to do their work as well. At this time, the southwest corner of the fire is the most active, and that's where we've seen the most growth today. And it's burning in a southwest direction, away from Fort McMurray. Just to wrap up, for tomorrow morning, we have air tankers scheduled for early morning drops on the fire at 0900. This, of course, is going to be dependent on whether there's an inversion. There could be very likely lots of smoke in the air and may prevent us from getting into the fire. The priority for tomorrow is the north flank, as are the winds that are predicted are out of the southeast and southwest, and we're going to be experiencing some very warm temperatures and very low relative humidities tomorrow. So we're in for another challenging day tomorrow, but we have made some progress today, and things our guys are feeling pretty good after today. Thank you.